It's day four. I'm excited. I'm excited. Moranugba is here in the class. How are you? Welcome, 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 everyone. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh my God. How many of you are getting used to the program already? Like we've done 3 days. How many of you are getting used to the program? Uju is here. Welcome to class. How many of you are getting used to this program already? You're like, oh my God, today is the fourth. Before you know it, we're done. That's how life works. Before you know it, people say, Jack, we are done. Welcome everyone to the four on our productivity webinar series. I really want to celebrate you. How have you been? Like, how have you been keeping up? Did you go back to some of the replays? I also went back to some of the replays, and in fact, especially the one of yesterday, it was truly beautiful. Tell me about your experience so far. Have you started doing your assignments? Have you started keeping up with um, some of the key things we spoke about? Have you started keeping up with them? Because it's important. If you don't keep up, if you don't do assignments, it will not be easy for you to implement and also integrate some of the key things that we have discussed in the past few days. Are you ready for the fall? Are you ready for what's coming? Like, share with me in the comments some of the things I've actually stood up for you, either from day one, day two, day three. Just tell me that thing that you would never forget. Like, it truly stood up for you, and you're like, oh, Chase, I want to practice this one. I want to start doing it. I want to start showing up this way. Tell me in the comments. I love to read from you. Evelyn, you are welcome to class. I celebrate you. Evelyn, go remind others in the inner circle to join us, okay? All right, so tell me what has actually stood out for you? What are you deliberately practicing? You know, that moment you go through a program, you go through a session, you read a book, there's always one thing that can just stand out for you. One thing, not 10, not 5, not 100. One thing, and you will say, this one, I will never forget. Okay? Uju says, I will never forget the power of one thing. The power of one. Welcome, Bika. I think I'm seeing this name for the first time. Are you attending live for the first time? I see B at Bika, BCA. Okay. We never forget the power of one thing. Okay. What else? What else? Tell me in the comments. What else stood out for you that you never forget? That is making a lot of sense to you right now. You're like, Coach Faith, I really need this. I really need this. I really needed this. Tell me in the comments. Okay. I love to read from you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm super excited. It doesn't also be easy on my part. Keeping up with daily teachings. Keeping up is not easy. Putting the slides together, the structures and everything is not easy. Like I said yesterday, we've got something for you, an amazing thing for you today. We have a guide, it's ready. All right, the Value Compass guide. It's going to help you navigate your values on a deeper level. I was listening to one of my coach today, and she was just talking about how that if you don't know your values, even building an authentic brand is going to be difficult. I'm like, yeah, it's like God is really talking about values in this season, and everyone is just locking it in. And now we have a guide. It's about 70 plus pages. Yeah, so it's something you can go through in an hour to and implement within a couple of days. Yeah, welcome to class. Okay, somebody says I just joined today. Okay, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. Okay, Ujubu says today I practiced my wise principle. I had time to meditate and think through, and I got answers. Interesting. See, the moment I started off on the path of personal development, even as a coach, as a leader in my industry, each time I sit down to meditate, there's so much power, there's so much light, there's so much wisdom that comes with meditation. Yes, there's so much light that comes with meditation. I'm not even kidding. It's so powerful, it's so profound. I remember each time I meditate, I always reflect back to the scripture, Joshua chapter 1, verse 8, where God was talking to Joshua, reminding Joshua of the book of the law that Moses had actually penned down, that Moses had actually gotten from God. And he kept on reminding Joshua to go back to those book of the laws, to go meditate day and night. Can you imagine that? Go and meditate day and night. There's also the book of, I think it's the book of Deuteronomy, where God was speaking to the children of Israel. and he was talking to almost like the parent. He said, teach this thing, teach it in and out, right? Teach it in and out. Let people get to know, let your children get to meditate on it as they go out, as they come in. You see, when we talk about this thing, somebody's like, oh, faith, 10 days, why not just 2 days? I'm doing this consistent because I need it to get into you. You see, Bika says, I just joined today. Can you imagine? She's just joining us today. All right. So one word she will gain from here can also help her. It's possible she hasn't gone through any of the replays. That's what we're saying. If we can do this for 1 year, we can continue to do it because we want you to meditate. We want you to continue to think about it, right? So as you come on board, tell me what has actually made a whole lot of sense for you in the comment section, and that would be great. I would love to read from you. So let's get right into the teaching for today. Yes, today we're talking about boundaries. While I was just really thinking about some of the key things we have discussed in the previous. I know some people will not be able to join live now because some are still at work. It's all good. You can watch the replays later as long as it is still available. All right. So, like I was saying before, that just the day one, day two, day three was really centered around clarity. And I'm like, okay, now I want to talk about systems. Okay, systems are powerful because if there are no systems, all the things that we have learned, they will just disappear and disappear. And we will never be able to really regurgitate them, remember them, and implement them. Okay. Lydia says what stood out for what made sense for her is that no is a complete sentence. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So welcome back. We've had the work, the hard work. You have identified what matters to you, your values, your purpose statement, your one thing. You've identified them. You've identified them, right? Okay. You've identified your one thing. So today we're going a step further because clarity without protection is going to just be good intention only. All right. So we need to be able to build the words that keeps our priority safe. We need to be able to build it. Something that can keep us safe to ensure that we keep working on autopilot. I need to print my book, Automate Your Growth. I need to print a copy because each time I'm talking about automation, I just reflect back to that book. All right. So I'm going to print it this year very soon. Okay, so we are going to be building upon what we've learned so that we can put a proper structure together to ensure that we scale, to ensure that we get better in the approach to execution. Very important. Very, 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 very important. Okay, I hope you are ready. I hope you are ready. Okay, so I've already moved us to now is the second slide. Okay, so many a times the reason we have to let me go back to our first slide. I think I didn't share, so we see the topic. All right, boundary architecture. Okay, boundary architecture and decision diet. We're just talking about building boundaries. Okay, um, today I was talking about something and I spoke about the fact that my dad was a very principled person. You know, so principled. In those days we used to call them ash parents. hmm We used to call them ash parents. Yeah, my dad is so strict. The major thing I knew about my father, that I know about my father, is the principal nature of my father because I didn't grow up with him. So I didn't really interact with maybe the caring father or all of that, but it was really just majorly centered around its principles. All right. And that is the very reason I'm where I am today. Because the fear of my father in those days was the beginning of wisdom. So you hear my daddy coming and yes, you have to. We don't hide. It wasn't like the lion of the tribe of his house. No, it was so straight to the core that if he says go do this, you don't even negotiate. You go straight on and do what you have been told to do if you would want to avoid troubles. So many a times, if you also look at your life, for me personally, I'm also a very principled person. I've learned that as well by virtue of life interactions, discipline, resilience, and all of that. I've come to understand that the fact that I'm a principal person has actually helped me to be disciplined, to be rugged, to be gritty, okay? To be gritty. In fact, I love it so much. There's even a name I got from the Finland word called Sisi. So I'm going to name my daughter that name. I'm going to name my daughter that name, but that's not the complete version. I have an addition. So it means grace, it means resilience, it means doggedness, right? I love it so much. So one thing that actually helped me to come this far is the fact that I've just been so connected to what I say I want to do. If I say I want to do this, I do it. Except otherwise, maybe something came up or all of that, I do it. Okay? So building that boundary is very important for you to be able to take what you have said to the next level. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult, right? It's going to be difficult to keep up. We can have all of these conversations, and at the end of the day, we still don't keep up with them. We still don't keep up with them. That is not my target for us in this very class. I want us to be able to do the work. Okay? Many a times we know what matters, but we don't really go deeper to reflect. All right, to reflect. Many a times, the reason we have issues with our boundaries, with keeping up with our values and our purpose, is that people keep coming into our spaces. We keep receiving notifications. We keep receiving requests that are urgent. Like I asked us yesterday and a day before yesterday, I said, is it your urgency or their urgency? All right. So we have several decisions that we need to make at our beck and call. And as a result, we keep bleeding focus. We don't even realize it. We keep bleeding. We don't keep up with the things that are truly important to us. All right. And as a result, it's a challenge for us to really keep up. Do you see that? So what we are going to be looking at today, boundary architecture, like I already said, it's going to help you protect your time, your energy, your attention, and at the end of the day, it's going to help you show up in your most authentic way so that your values on a daily basis can begin to reflect. Somebody should type values in the comments. Values can begin to reflect. We don't just want to keep talking and talking. At the end of the day, this thing doesn't reflect. When it comes to decision diet, we're going to use the opportunity to eliminate. I wanted to make this a 2-day class, but because of other things we need to cover, I had to bunch the both of them together. All right. So the reason we need to also eliminate 80% of um, we need to eliminate certain things because 80% of our decisions is just centered around mental energy wasters. Like we keep wasting our energy on frivolities, on the things that really do not matter. So in this class, we're going to live with a framework that will help you make your productivity automatic without feeling exhausted. I think I love what somebody shared in the group earlier today. The person was like, what we are learning today, we are building upon everything we have learned. Okay, you see some certain things being repeated, it is so that you can remember, so that it can resonate more as it connects to the current teaching. It will help you to reflect on a deeper level. So boundaries are the limits that you set to protect your values or what you value. Okay, they define what you allow, what you refuse, what you engage with, and what you would also walk away with. That's it. The limit you set. You say this limit, I will not go beyond this limit. I will not go beyond this limit. They are the limits you set to protect what you value so much. You protect them at all costs with everything that you've got, with your fibers, your liver, your muscle. That's what boundaries are. That's what boundaries are. How well have you been able to protect what you truly love? Now, the reason we have to go back and look into values is this very thing I'm saying right now. Because if we say boundaries are the limits you set to protect your values, do you even know your values? All right. I said yesterday that we already have the compass. In the compass, I shared about 50 different values. Okay. I call that very chapter value dictionary. So you're going to have 50 of them with their definitions, right? So you're going to go back with those definitions. You're going to write them down one after the other. Okay. You're going to write down those definitions. Okay. And say, okay, this is what this means, but this one resonates with me. This is what it means to me. Okay. If integrity means a lot to you, you can define it as much as possible. Describe what integrity means to you. You can carry 20 pages. You keep describing. This is what integrity means to me. I'm an integrous personality. It's your value. It's not my values. How does it resonate with you? All right. So I've shared the definitions and the meaning in the guide. So you go ahead and make your own definitions so resonant with you, such that at the end of the day, you're able to continue to live by it. Because if you can name it, you can tame it. If you can give a language to it, if you can give a definition to it, it's going to make a lot of sense. If one of your value is legacy, right? So you've got to be ready to understand what legacy means to you. What legacy means to someone like me may not mean the same thing to you, but you can have the general understanding of what legacy means, and then from there you derive your own definition. Okay, so it becomes very easy for you to navigate. Okay, your boundaries are only as strong as your value as the values that you keep. If your values are not clear, so clarity of values is important. If you are here building your brand, type brand in the comment. Type brand. Who here is building his or her brand? Type brand. Are you building your brand? Like, are you deliberate about how you show up online right now, or even in the physical space? It's not only online we build brands, we also build in the physical as well. Okay, but the best of it all in this day and age is to be both. Okay, to be balanced from both ends. Okay, the online space can take 70%, the offline space can take 30, because the online space now is more like the front door of every businesses, whether you like it or not, because in there you can interact with thousands of people and you can bring them into your physical businesses. Okay, if you are building your brand, I like to type brand. Jimo, you're building your brand. Interesting, I never knew. You're gonna tell me more about it. Okay, uh yes, who else is building a brand? Faith Micah is also building a brand. Okay, so if you are building your brand now, if you don't understand your values, one of my core values is kindness. Kindness. So you discover that I show love so much. I relate with people with so much kindness. If I'm tired, I can just exit. But you will never see me talking to somebody with with some kind of disdain, right? I show intentionality in how I relate to people. Almost everyone here, you're all building your brand. Interesting. Okay. Um, So that's it. So if you are building your brand, it simply means that you have to be deliberate about this value thing. Yes, if you're not building your brand, you are also impacting lives in one way or the other. Maybe you are a parent, maybe you're an employer of labor. Every organization have their values, right? If you go into an organization, in as much as you can see their board, you will see their mission, their vision. The next thing you see is their value statements. I mean, their values. You see, they'll say these are our core values. You see them there. You see them there. These are our core values. This is what we do in our organization. So it's important that you know your values. It's important. So if you can put a definition to it, it will become easier for you to also set boundaries. So if one of your value is kindness, you know that it will not be fair if your staff is speaking to a customer the way they like, because you value kindness so much. Do you understand? If one of your value is integrity, it means that whenever you say yes, you keep to it. It simply one of my values is integrity. You see the way I show up in class. I've been in classes, many classes, where the coach will say, "Oh, we're gonna meet by 6," and then you see them coming by 6:30 or by 7. All right. Since I started off on my journey, I think if you have seen me do that, I would have come over to the group to say, please, oh, something came up. It may be technical issue, it may be an emergency. Please give me extra 15 minutes, give me extra 10 minutes. Let me try and keep up, right? Because I value keeping up with my words. So I will not tell you the class is going to be 6 and then showing up by 6:30 or by 7 or by 6:20, right? And I don't even apologize. You see that? So if your children goes to school and in the school they say they have to be in school by 7 a.m. and you go to school by 8 a.m., it means that you don't really value integrity so much. It can happen once in a while, right? Maybe because of health issue or because sometimes you do not wake up in the right side of the bed. Yeah, it happens sometimes as a parent. Like you just sleep and you're like, oh my God, let me see what will happen. Let me happen today, please. I want to sleep to 6. All right. So what do you value so much? You have to be deliberate about that because if you don't know what matters, you will say yes to everything. You will say yes to everything. That's where people experience decision fatigue because they don't know their values, so it becomes difficult. You would also see this play out for a lot of young people when they're about to make decisions for a life partner. Okay? Because they don't know their values, anybody can sometimes they have five on the row who wants to marry them, all right? And they're like, which one should I go for? They are confused. Now, if you carry that analysis, even before you even talk about, oh, let me go and pray, like people will share the names to pastors, you have to say, okay, look at the person's values. Do they align with mine? Their vision, do they align? Their mission, do they align? Their spirituality, do they align? When you have actually look at the scale with all of these different aspects of life, you already know if they are not meeting up to 70% of all these basic things, then you already know that it's a no-go area. But some people would just see somebody and be like, oh, let's go and pray. Because they really do not know where they are going. They don't have direction. Some people will not even pray alone, okay? But they give it to 10 people to pray for them and tell them what God is saying. There's nothing bad in all of that. Those things are great. But the basic things have to be put in place, right? Even for business, you want to have a business partner. Because you do not know your values, you just go in. The person wants to give you money or wants to support with influence. You just hop in and be like, ah, let's do this business. It's going to, we know it's going to scale, right? So if you don't know your purpose, every request feels equally important. So boundary architecture isn't about being rigid. It's about being intentional. All right. It's about being intentional. I like to type intentionality in the room. It is about being intentional. That is what boundary architecture is about. Intentionality, like I would always say, is the true art of leadership. If you say you are a leader, like many of us say we are building our brands, it means that we are leaders in our own spheres of engagement. We have people we are leading, we have followers, we have people that we're also following as well. All right. So boundary architecture isn't just about being rigid. It's really about becoming more intentional in your life, right? Becoming more intentional, telling yourself, I want to be intentional. You know, if you understand how to set up the right boundaries, your children will learn, it will rub off on them. Those around you will learn because they already know these are the boundaries you don't cross here. So you don't need to keep reminding them, oh, don't you know I'm this? Don't you know I'm your parent? Don't you know you have to do that? Because right now, the boundaries in the home, the architecture that you have put in place, have actually opened them up to that. So somebody just comes into your life, into your home, into your workplace, and they just flow into the boundaries because it is already there. All right? They are the unspoken rules of relationships. They are the unspoken rules. They are subtle. But if you are grounded in them, it's going to help you stay intentional. Anybody that comes around me, they know first of all, I'm a learner. So you come around me and we're having a conversation, I'm like, oh my God, girl, you see that book I read? Oh, you see that man? Oh, you see that person when they were doing this? Oh, I learned a lot. Those are some of the basic conversations I will have, all right? And to just discuss deep things. Those are some of the things. Like just go so deep, 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 deep. Like I'm not saying I don't joke, I don't play sometimes, but most of the conversations you will see me or hear me have, they're very deep conversations because that's what my life is wrapped around. So if you come into my space, before you know it, you're already deep. You're already doing the same thing because those are the unspoken rules of my life, right? And it's going to rub off on you. So, what is boundary architecture? Architecture, sorry, architecture, intentional rules and structures that protect what you have already decided matters most to you. That's it. So, think of it like this: you wouldn't build a house without a wall. Your productivity need walls too, because clear lines that say this gets my time, that doesn't, this aligns with my value, that doesn't. If you don't have an architecture, you are exposed to every down thing that comes. You are exposed, you are exposed overly. All right. So it is important. It is important that you become very intentional so you not be exposed to every demand and distraction that comes your way. So you not be exposed to that. You are protecting your life. There's so many books about boundaries. So many books. about boundaries. Come on, in the world of personal development, there's so much we need to learn. And that's why many a times my sister was telling me, Coach, do we need to do 1 year? 1 year is long. Oh. But each time I look at the depth of what we need to cover, we cannot cover it in 2 months. I've had cohorts where I do 2 months of personal development coaching. In fact, I started my personal development coaching in 2023. The framework was created in 2023. I've had several cohorts of group membership where I do. In fact, the group membership are usually $97. Yes, that's usually the least that I charge. $97 for 6 weeks. Sometimes I extend to 2 months when people are trying to keep up the assignment. I remember many people giving me feedback like, Coach Faith, all these things you are teaching us, we can't grab them in 6 weeks. There are plenty, there are much. And of course, as I make more research, as I study more, as I advance my studies, I also began to see deeper stuff that I would have loved to cover. But 2 months, 6 weeks is not even enough, right? I've always run membership. I started membership in 2017. My first membership was in 2017. I've run membership every year since 2017. All right. I started paid membership in 2020. Yes. And I've seen how transformation can really happen when you are immersed in the path of personal development. Okay? When you are fully immersed, when you are inside it. Like we say, it's a lifelong practice. When you come into my space, I open you up to how that can truly become a reality for you. How you can fall in love with personal development. How many of you are falling in love already? If you are falling in love, just type love in the comments. If you're already falling in love with personal development, say just type love. Let me know those that are already falling in love with personal development, right? So you're going to fall in love with it. It's such that it becomes your daily experience. And on a daily basis, as you wake up, you're asking yourself, what's next for me? What's next for me? What's next for me? How do I move forward? How do I advance? Right? Today, I was just discussing with members of the Growth Garden. We shared a very major tool today. All right, a beautiful tool. In fact, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays, we usually discuss tools for implementation because I know that if you're on the path of personal development, you must own your kinesthetic muscle. Your kinesthetic muscles has to be on. HONE. You must own them consistently because it's not just about talking. It's about also optimizing your doable initiative. That is your kinesthetic muscle, your doing part. When we say kinesthetism, there are different pathways to learning. We have reading, we have learning, and we have reading, we have writing, we have visual learning, we have audio learning, and then we have kinesthetism. You can refer to it refer to it as I don't know why my tongue is twisting this evening. I just finished it now. Why is it twisting? Okay, we can refer to it as VARK, VARK, VARK model, VARK model. Visual learning, audio learning, reading and writing. Arrow stands for reading and writing, and the kinesthetism. So kinesthetism happens to be the type of learning that will help you to harness all of your compartments, your emotions, your mind, your body. Body has to do with movement now. All right. So it's not just about coming to listen to Coach Fade, listen, and then you go and sleep and be like, oh, that woman is deep. I heard so many good stuff. No, it is that at the end of the day, you too would also act. And that's why I always tell people in the Grow Garden, the Grow Garden is a place for cultivators. What that means is, it's not only one person that gets to plant in the farm. All right, in a garden, we all get to plant, we prune, we do all the things that we know how to do. Yes, I'm the lead coach in the community, but we get to share our feedback, get to share assignments, our reflections, and other people also get to learn from the overall process, right? As we grow in the Grow Garden, as we advance our community, we're looking forward to a system where others in the community would also begin to step up to teach. Yes, that's what we are going to. We are getting there, right? So it's not just a place where it's only Coach Faith that knows it all right? So what am I saying in a nutshell? That your kinesthetic muscle has to be on. So when we talk about productivity, needing a war, needing where you can really begin to deliberately keep up, it is that it is going to help you, you know, curate a level of self-respect, right? A level of self-respect for yourself, first of all, before any other person can even relate to that. To say that if I told myself I want to keep up with this, right, and I'm able to keep up with that, that is self-respect. That is the radicality of self-respect, right? You must respect yourself so much. That even you love your face, you love the way you do your things. Some of you don't love you, not because you don't want to, but because you have not seen yourself keeping up with the life that you have to be keeping up to. You say yes this way and then you do no the other way. All right? You do know the other way. Do you see that? So it's of importance that we begin to have these boundaries so that we can uphold what we believe in. All right? So why do most people fail? Why do most people fail? They fail because they think boundaries are just about saying no. Boundaries are mostly about saying yes, beyond just the no's. Saying yes to the right things. Because if you have the capacity, you have built your muscle so well that you have the capacity to say yes to a lot of the right things in your life, right? The no's are going to just pack up. That's it. The no's will pack up by themselves. You don't need to struggle to say no. They pack up by themselves. Do you see that? So, what kills most boundaries are number one, guilt. I should help everyone. That's guilt. Oh, I should have the capacity to help everyone. If I started to learn recently that even there are some people you want to help, they will not be able to receive your help. I see the reason Jesus emphasized in the scripture that is it is only to as many that receive him that he gives power to become sons of God. It's not going to coerce you. It's not going to cajole you. Or rather, he gave us free will to say, "Oh, you have to accept me." He said, "See, this thing is not a matter of do or die that I have to force you, but I've given you options. Choose life. And for the fact that I've given you options, if you receive me, I'll give you the capacity, the power, the strength to become the sons and daughters of God. Right? But if you refuse to receive, there's nothing I can do. Do you see that? So I've come to even realize recently that not everybody you can help. That's the truth. And in fact, I had to start learning this the, the hard way. Because there are some people you want to help them, but they're not willing to receive your help. That's the truth. They are not willing. Okay? They are not willing to receive your help. Do you see that? They are not willing to receive your help. It doesn't they don't mind. Okay? Another thing is what if they think I'm difficult? This is another reason we don't set boundaries. What if they think I'm difficult? What if they think I'm a bad person? Many of us are people pleasers, right? We please people so much. All right? We please people so much and we forget about ourselves, right? So because of that, we don't set boundaries. Another thing is lack of clarity. I don't know what I am protecting. That is it. So you may not say this outrightly, but it is also the reason we don't set boundaries. When your boundaries are rooted in your values, there will be no guilt. There would always be an alignment. All right. So I'd like you to go get this book that I have actually prepared for you. Okay. I'd like you to go get it. Before that, let's talk about some of these alarming statistics. Okay. Some of these alarming statistics. An average worker is interrupted every 3 minutes. Okay. Every 3 minutes. Every 3 minutes. Do you see that? An average worker is interrupted every 3 minutes. Yes, Moranuba, not everyone you can help actually. Okay? An average worker is interrupted every 3 minutes. It takes 23 minutes as well to regain focus. I said this yesterday after an interruption. So, workers also spend 88% of their day managing emails. So, workers spend 80% of their professional uh, 80% of professionals feel overwhelmed by daily decisions. That's also another alarming statistic. Do you see that? That's also another alarming statistic. Yes, I've really made peace with this that not everybody, not everybody, not everybody can actually receive your help. Just like Jesus says, it is only those who receive that it gives power. Meaning that not everybody has the capacity to even receive. Some people, the systems they've interacted with, where they are coming from, and a lot of things that have actually happened in their life has made it very difficult for them to receive. But we keep putting in our best as teachers, as mentors, as leaders. That's why the harvest is so big, for the laborers are few. I know you guys are going to be doing a lot in your space as well. Yes, I'm speaking to leaders. Sometimes we try our best as much as possible. We go to bed with so much hate because we are trying to feel for people. We want them to be consumed by the kind of knowledge that can actually set them free. And they keep on saying no. It's a difficult conversation to have. But let's move on. This is the value compass guide. I need to go get it. So we've actually given it out for a discount of 80% off. So for today and tomorrow, you get to pay $1 to get the guide. It is 73 plus pages of a guide, but then you're going to have spaces to fill in all the things you need to fill in. If you go to this guide, my goodness, my goodness, I'm not selling to you. You guys know I don't sell things for $1. I don't remember when I did that last. $1. But I just wanted you guys to commit to it. That's why I'm giving it out. But after the 48 hours, it's going to go back to $5. It's going to go back to $5. If you need it, even members of Finance Circle, they're going to buy it. If you need it, go ahead, click on the link. They'll share the link in the room. Click on it, or you send a WhatsApp message to that number so that you can get it within 48 hours for $1. You can pay manually, you can get it on the platform. Now, the reason I had to put this guide together, when we spoke about values on day one, I was trying to go deep, I was trying to explain. When I looked at it, there's so much we really want to cover. I need you to be able to, I need you to be able to unravel your core values. It's important so that as you continue on this journey, each time I'm teaching or you have a class with me, I don't need to start going back again. And anybody that comes into the system later for whatever program, they're going to get this manual. They're going to get it. So I set it up once, you can get it and do it again and again and again. Because in every new season of your life, you need clarity. Okay, in 1 hour, 2 hours, you can go through this and just fill in the gaps. And with that, you'll be able to understand, pick the right values, trim it down, understand that your value shows up in your life, do the analysis. I added some of those in the guide. Do the analysis so that you can be deliberate. If you have children that are already teenagers, teenagers from the age of 8 and above, give them the guide. Let them unravel their values as well, right? Let them unravel their values. If you have your spouse, if you are married, give it to your spouse. Buy it for your employees, all right? Give it to them. Let them go through. Let them go through and really write down their values. How many of you are ready to get it? If you are getting it, type I'm getting it now. Just type that in the room. Let me know those of you that are ready to be serious students. I don't want to keep coming back and forth. Each time we talk about values, I'm trying to explain again and again and again. So each time value shows up in our conversation in class, all right, I just refer you back to this guide. If you don't get it now, you still get it later. All right. So with that being said, we're going to talk about, you can take a screenshot of this slide so that you can get the number there. If you don't have my number, you can reach out. Okay. So have you enjoyed the conversation so far? If you have enjoyed the conversation so far, I like to type enjoy, 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 enjoy. I like to type that in the room, type that in the room, type that in the room so that we can take this to the next level. Now we're going to talk about the 4 types of boundaries. We're going to talk about the 4 types of boundaries. Yes, Jimo, go get it, okay? Go get the book. It's going to set you on fire, all right? So, interesting. So I've made it very affordable for everyone. Nobody should give an excuse. It's just $1. That's 1,500 naira. Okay. So I'm going to move on. I don't want to emphasize on this so much. Oh, my slide is messed up. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm sharing through StreamYard. I don't really know. Okay. So the 4 types of boundaries. Let's talk about the 4 types of boundaries. We have the time boundaries. We have access boundaries. We have energy boundaries, and then we have priority boundaries. These boundaries are powerful. When we're talking about setting boundaries, I really don't just want it to uh, be, be doing it anyhow it comes. I need you to take these 4 dimensions of it. All right, there may be more, but these 4 dimensions are very important. They are critical to your ascension. They are critical to your moving to the next level. Whenever we talk about time boundaries, we're saying when you work and what gets scheduled. All right, what gets scheduled in your life on a daily basis? What gets scheduled? Very important. What gets scheduled? How do you schedule your work on a daily basis? All right. I know we're still going to talk about time management as we continue, and I'm going to be recommending a lot of books. I've recommended a lot of books on time management, such as the Free Time Formula, all right, and some other ones. So we're talking about time boundaries, which is very important. Access boundaries is also necessary for you um, to understand how people get into your space. All right, I'm going to explain it on a deeper level. And then we also have energy boundaries. So I'm going to share the next slide so I can just go on and explain. We'll talk about time boundaries. You're going to ask yourself, does my schedule show what I said matters most? Does my schedule show what I say matters most in my life? Does it show? Does it show what I said matters most in my life? Does it show what I said matters most in my life? Does it show what I said matters most in my life? My schedule as it is. Okay? Does it show what I said matters most? Are my priorities getting prime as or leftovers? So, like we spoke about the one thing, your priorities, they have to be able to get prime hours. Okay? Those hours of the day where you have capacity, where you have strength to do so much, right? Where you have the strength to do so much. Are you giving it the prime hours that is required? Tell me in the comments. So tell me in the comments. So you're gonna build your schedule around your priorities and not the other way around. You're gonna build your schedule around your priorities and not the other way around. If health if health is of value to you, work as it should be enough. All right. If creativity is of value, mornings should also be protected as well. It should also be protected again and again. So when we talk about access boundaries, when we talk about access boundaries, we're simply saying not everyone deserves immediate access to you. Not everyone. Okay, somebody says I'm getting it now. Interesting. That's good. Okay, not everyone deserves access to you. So, favor, if you are here on faith, you're going to share the book and the link in the room so that people can start getting it. Okay, you don't have to wait till the end of the class. Okay, so when we talk about when we talk about access boundaries, I used to feel that everybody should have access to me. Okay, I should make out time for everybody. But I'm beginning to realize that as I go up the ladder of growth and impact and intentionality, a lot of things have to stop. Proud to this time, people will have to get access to me. Over the 1,000 people that register for this program, they will have to send me a DM on my WhatsApp and all of that. But as I grow in the ladder, I discover that those things, a lot of them are actually going to stop my growth because of the level of commitment that I have right now. Yes, proud to this time, you send me a DM. I can just but I continue to grow in the things that I do, a lot of other engagement. I just saw that a lot of boundaries has to be put in place, right? Same with you as well. As you grow in life, you discover. Have you ever been to a rich person's house? Like you tell your rich uncle you are coming down, and then you get to your rich uncle's house. You are there, you are waiting, and they are telling you, please wait for extra 3 hours. Uncle is in a meeting. Wait for extra 2 hours. Uncle will come down soon. Have you ever been there? It is because these guys have a lot in their plate. If you also have what you're doing part time, you must be able to schedule access. Do you get that? It is not wickedness. You must be ready to schedule access. Access. You must, all right? You must set specific communication windows. Communication windows. You must set it in place. You must set it in place. There has to be office hour for more urgent requests. All right? For more urgent requests, you have to set those things in place. You have to turn off non-essential notifications. Yes, Shoma, it's getting interesting. I love that. Right? You must be able to do that. The higher you go, the more access, the less access that you give to people. I used to ask myself, why is it that God kept us on planet Earth and he's in a place where we cannot touch him? Where we cannot go to him and knock on his door and say, Daddy, Daddy God, well, just imagine the over 8 billion people on earth are going to God every night. They're knocking the door. Daddy God, you say you're going to give me money. How far now? I've not gotten the money. Daddy God, you said you're going to give me that connection. I've not gotten it. What will happen? Angels will be like, if you want to kill God, what's going on? Obviously, we cannot do that. God, I used to say, oh, God went and hid himself somewhere when I was much younger. God went and hid himself somewhere because our problem as human beings, they are too much. Oh. So he doesn't want us to be disturbing him all the time. And do you know what he did? He has actually set systems in place. All right. One of such systems is boundary access boundaries. All right. He has set systems in place. Interact with my system, my dear. All right. So those of you that have access to me right now, enjoy the access now. Because as we continue this ladder, a time may come, some other people will be coming, you may not have access to me. It is only those that have access to me now that may still have access. All right. Maybe because you have certain privileges in my space and all of that. You see that? That's why as you continue to grow into the ladder of progress, transformation, and all of that, there are certain boundaries you would have to begin to put in place to ensure that things are well not put together. Not because your heart doesn't go to people. For example, there are classes I want to attend, not because I cannot, not because I don't want to attend. Most times my heart goes down to those organizers and those people. I do not have the time anymore. I just scroll past. I'm like, oh my God, I would have loved to attend this class. Oh my God. I just keep scrolling. Not because I don't want to. Not because I don't love the teacher or whoever is teaching. Not because I'm not humble enough to learn. But it is access. Come on now. Do you get it? Are you getting it? It is access. I don't have that time, that luxury anymore. I remember back in the days, I wake up by 12 a.m. I'll be learning. I'll be learning. All right. There's so much I'll be doing. But right now, there's so much on my plate. There is so much on my plate. Right. So that is it. Access boundaries. Yes. Access boundaries. So now you know that it is not because you hate them. It is not because you're proud. It's not because you are showing yourself. It is that you don't have the time for such. All right. You don't have the time for such. Do you see that? So the next one is energy boundaries. So we're going to talk more about energy architecture. I think that would be from day 7 or so, right? But for now, you're going to ask yourself, what task leave me feeling alive or depleted? Who do I feel lighter or heavier around? What conditions help me do my best work? So we have had some of this conversation before around energy takers and energy givers. So you should take that to heart. You should be able to set energy boundaries as well. There are some people you will never allow to come close. So be in the holy of holiest. I think somebody shared that with us yesterday. I can't remember the name. Holy of holiest. All right. So be in your holy of holiest. Some people are okay in the inner circle. Some people are okay in the outer court. All right. Like the Gentiles, they are okay in the outer court, right? But they cannot enter the holy of holiest. All right. So energy boundaries are there. So the last one, okay, we have shared all. Okay, priority boundaries. Yes, that's the last one. Priority boundaries. Before you say yes to anything, you've got to ask yourself, what is my one thing? What is my one thing? Why do I need to do this? So now let's talk about decision. Let's talk about decision. I love decision making. In fact, there was a time, in fact, I still plan to do that, an extensive boot camp like this. So we just talk about decision. All we talk about is decision, decision, decision. I remember reading an amazing book one time, about 2 books or so on decision making. I was pleased with the research I came up with because I don't just read, I research. As I read and I get ideas, I research them further, I go even deeper. So both of us can read the same book and I come up with a totally different knowledge because of the way I'm deep in research. Of course, I'm a personal development coach. I have to research because there are problems I cannot just solve on the surface. Many people go through this class, but they still have specific tailored problems that they need solutions to, that I need to be able to help them. Do you see that? So you have built the world. Now let's talk about what's happening inside the world that you have created. You still have to make hundreds of decisions every day. Okay? You still have to make hundreds of decisions. Let me show you this alarming statistic. Very, very wonderful statistics. Okay? An average person make about 35,000 decisions every day per day. Some research says up to about 50 decisions per day. Somebody will start at 5,000 if you think it is alarming. Like on a daily basis, how do you even do that? I needed to validate this research through multiple platforms, multiple books I've read, multiple platforms, and they keep saying between 32,000 to 50,000 decisions every single day. So in the in between, it is 35,000. That is it. So if you make 35,000 decisions every day, somebody would like, is that even possible? Now, it was when I started to make research about the subconsciousness of a man, the consciousness of a man, I started to realize that, come on, you can even make more than that. The reason is because when you are sleeping, your heart is still working. It is pumping blood to your capillaries, to your aorta, to your arteries, to your veins. There's even There's even a nerve called the vagus nerve. It is connected to your gut cells, all right, your intestinal guts. It's called the vagus nerve. It is that nerve that connects to the brain, such that when the stomach is talking, your brain can interpret it. Or your brain can interpret the vagus nerve. It can interpret. We have um okay, we have I think I love what you have shared. Thank you for sharing that with you. I love it. Okay. So we have what's it called? We have the vagus nerve that communicates to the brain. All right, that communicates to the brain big time, big time. It communicates to it again and again and again. Do you see that? So when you are sleeping, how is it that you wake up in the morning and you are not dead? It is because your body was making decisions on your behalf. On your behalf. So if we are to talk about the decisions you make with your consciousness only, then we cannot go that far to say, oh, it is as much as that. Obviously, it can never be even get to 100 in your consciousness. But you see, your overall system, the way God set it up. How many systems do we have in the body? We have the intestinal system. We have that's the gastrointestinal system. We have the respiratory system. We have the circulatory system. We have the expiratory system. I remember my chemistry, my biology now, integrated science, that they now call basic science, right? We have all of these systems in the body. And in all of these systems, in them we have organs. In all the organs, we have tissues. In the tissues, we have cells. Cells, the smallest indivisible particle of an element that makes up the human system. The cells of a man are in the billions and in their trillions. So these things are constantly working. So when we say we make 35,000 decisions every day, it's not a walk in the park, because some decisions are being made on your behalf. That's why you just wake up and you'll be angry. Somebody will be asking you, why you the best? Did you sleep on the wrong side of the bed? Even you cannot explain why you are angry. You just be frowning. Decisions were being made on your behalf. Your hormonal imbalance, things started to happen while you were sleeping. And that's what they will tell us. Dietitians will tell us, don't eat certain food before you go to bed. Mm-hmm. I used to read some books on diet, right? Don't eat certain books. I mean, and I also did biochemistry, something related. I did some aspect of food nutrition, right? They'll tell you don't eat certain food before you go to bed. Because when you eat this food, this will happen. The communication line will happen this way and happen that way. It can affect your blood. Then you can produce too many cholesterol and all of that. So decisions are being made on a daily basis. So you see that decision fatigue is actually real. Mhm. It is real. Now let's look at decision diet. Decision diet, you can use the EAT framework. Maybe now that I've spoken about food, it will be easier for you to relate with. EAT framework, EAT, EAT, eliminate, automate, and template. All right. There are certain decisions you need to template. There are some you need to automate. There are some you need to eliminate. EAT framework, EAT. Someone should type EAT, EAT. So each time you remember coaches to talk about decision diet, just remember EAT, EAT. All right. EAT. You have got to be ready to remove unnecessary decisions. That is the place of elimination. And in the place of automation, you have got to be ready to let system decide for you. That's why automation is important. In March, we're going to be running an automation challenge. I usually call it Build Habit Like a Pro challenge. We had 2 editions last year. We're going to be having one this year again. Where you're going to pick a habit that you want to build in a certain number of days. We're going to build it. All right. We're going to do that. Many members of the Growth Garden, they have a lot to do. For those of you who are not in the Growth Garden, you're going to be paying for these things. Okay. No matter how little it may seem, it's going to be an opportunity for you to commit to your growth on a deeper level. But I encourage you to get into the Growth Garden. Reach out and get on board. We have installment package for you. All right. You can send me a DM. It's $100 for the rest of the year. So all these teachings you hear me teach. All right. You can ask me questions. You can ask me personalized questions as it has to do with your personal development journey. All right. The EAT framework. You have got to be ready to eliminate, let go of unnecessary distractions so that you can make proper decisions. Automation says let systems decide for you. Now, when we're talking about automation now, we're saying that is where habit building comes in. How many of you have read this book? That is where habit building comes in. All right. I'm going to share it again when I'm done teaching. Look at the book. What's the title of the book? Somebody can type it in the comments. Okay. That is where habit building comes in. That's where habit building comes in. So when you build habits, it's easier for you to automate decisions. Okay? For example, if you have built the habit of reading, it's easier for you to automate it. Okay? It's easier for you to automate it in a way. If you have built it as a habit, it has actually been automated. That's what it is. If you have built it as a habit, it's automated automatically. All right? It's automated automatically. So it means that in your system, there's going to be a lot going on in your life because you have automated this thing. And in terms of templating, we would say that you have to be able to pre-decide once and reuse it forever. For those of you that are thought leaders and are coaches already, for example, I've created slides for about 4 days now. These slides can be reused, okay, for other programs. That's templating. So it means that I already have a template for productivity. I can be invited, okay, to come and teach in an organization on peak performance, on productivity, and all of that, and I will use my slides. I've already templated it, so it will not be difficult again for me to start going back to rework it from the foundation. Okay? There are certain things you just template in your home as well, and you say, okay, each time I want to cook a goosey soup, this is what we do. Women, we know how to template a lot. Please do it. We just template it. Want to prepare this, that's how we go about it. Mhm. So the eat framework is our decision diet. You see, eat goes with what? Diet. So when we we eat well, it's going to be a good diet. So that will help us to be able to make proper decisions even as we set boundaries. It will no longer be difficult for us. So in terms of elimination, ask yourself what decisions don't actually matter. Decisions like what should I wear? Okay, what's it for breakfast? You see that a lot of the people we admire, somebody like Mark Zuckerberg, you see him wearing one color of clothes again and again. He may have hundreds of them, but it's the same color. Why? He's trying to eliminate decision making. So be sitting there and be thinking, what should I wear? Don't you know it's a lot of work? Those are some of the things women we spend our time on. And at the end of the day, we're not very productive when it comes to purpose. Because you constantly spend your time on what to wear, how to make your hair, what to do, and all of those decisions, they take a lot of energy from us. They take a lot of energy from us. And at the end of the day, we're not able to keep up with the things that are most important in our lives. Because we have wasted all our energy trying to do all the things that do not matter. So eliminate decision says, what do we have for breakfast? Go write it down in a way that it is easier for you to what remember. Some people have their recipes on a daily basis. They just know, okay, this is what it is. Just go do it. Do you get it? Should I work out today? It's a non-negotiable. So that shouldn't even be on the list to say, oh, when should I continue to think about it? So every decision you eliminate is energy you get back. Do you see that? Another thing is automate decisions. Automate decisions. For example, you want to pay bills. All right. I love the time that we're going. AI is really helping us to automate a lot. How many of you know how to use AI to automate? How many of you know AI automations here? All right. We are auto paying bills. You can just wake up in the morning and your refrigerator, there was no bread before. Now bread is in the house. And they're like, what happened? Oh, the refrigerator contacted. Your refrigerator was automated. We're looking forward to that era where AI will be doing all of this. Contacted the bread vendor or the food vendor, and now they brought it in. The robot in the house got them stuck in the fridge. Things like that. So things can be automated, so you don't get to keep making decisions. These are some of the blessings and the benefits that we have in this day and age from artificial intelligence. All right, that we have in this day and age for artificial intelligence. Okay, you can prep your meal on Sundays. Many of us spend hours every day thinking about what to eat and what to wear, what children will wear. Most of the time, that's why they just relegated some part of gender to the back door to say all you think about is just this and that, right? Recurring calendar, email filters as well. You must be ready to automate your life in those ways. The things that you do again and again, automate them. And in terms of templates, you can template email response, meeting agenda, weekly planning, decision making. In fact, even to the place of for us that do coaching or thought leadership, you can have a copy that you use for a particular thing and then you will use it again and again. Those are ways to template. All right. Template decisions for your current situations. So you don't keep going back and forth. So you don't keep going back and forth. This is the return on investment when it comes to simplification. This is the return, the ROI. Okay. for investing that, it's going to reduce 10 decisions. Reducing 10 decisions daily can save you 30 plus minutes. Decision templates can help you stay less stressed. You can also be able to simplify your routine and free up at least 10 plus hours every day. So bringing all of this together, all right, bringing all of this together, boundary architecture protects your time, your energy, and your priorities. I like you to write that down. It protects your time, your energy, and your priorities. But when it comes to decision diet, it frees up mental bandwidth. Do you see that? So if your time is protected, your energy is protected, your values are protected, your priorities are protected, now decision making helps you toward decision diet helps you toward free up mental bandwidth so that your values can continue to show up in the calendar so that you can begin to focus on what is under attack. Focus more so that you are not exhausted by 2 p.m. Many of us at 2 p.m. we're already exhausted because we have used up our mental muscles to make a lot of decisions for the day. To make a lot of decisions for the day. We have used up our mental muscles. We have used up our mental muscles. All right? Because we are so because of the work that I do, many at times, yes, I'm a great cook. Many at times I'm preparing food and I'm asking, I'm like, oh my God, should we add more oil to the food? It's not because I don't know what to do. It is because my meta, my decision making muscle has been used up in a lot of ways. I'm not thinking about the quantity of oil for the ogbono soup now. That's not what I'm thinking. All right. That's why we just get to a level we have to get people to do this work for us. Not because we have pride, not because someone look at me once I was like, you work from home, you coach from home. How dare you employ people to help you? You know that kind of a thing. They don't understand the EAT framework. They don't understand it. They don't understand that this is really about elimination so that I can focus my attention on what is the most important. All right, I'm not going to be thinking about Ogbono soup in the middle of the night when I'm supposed to be envisioning what what God has laid in my heart. That one is already heavy in my heart. And you're thinking about how to do this. Yes, those things you can also create balance, but if you have the ability to delegate, you have the finance to also do so, go ahead and do so. All right. So now I like us to take home our assignment. All right. I like us to take home our assignment. So we're going to have assignment in these two dimensions. The first one is on boundaries architecture. We're going to look at our time, our assets, our energy, and our priorities. You can screenshot that. You can screenshot it. So for time, for time, we're going to ask ourselves what are our non-negotiable time blocks this week. Yesterday, I spoke about non-negotiables. I spoke about enablers. I spoke about maintenance tasks. You can go back to that class of yesterday. So what are my non-negotiables? And then in terms of access, when will you check messages? Who gets immediate access to you as well? In terms of energy, what are the three activities that energize you and what are those that also drain you? In terms of priorities, what's your filter? Your filter question. I like you to write it down. Okay? So take a screenshot, sit with this. All right. I was talking to those in Grow Garden yesterday that they have to get their journals. I know I've emphasized it again and again. I've said it before. You get journals. I'm always with journals, right? I'm always with journals like this. Get journals. I get big ones because small ones cannot take my thoughts and they get filled up on time. So I can get this one, get other notes, for different entries. All right. This is your assignment right now. Something you can easily just sit down and just play with it. You can even play with it with your partner, with your kids, if you have grown-ups who can interact at a certain level, with anybody in your space, maybe a partner. Do people still do accountability partners? I hear that a lot. My accountability partner. Okay, accountability partners. All right, write them down and brainstorm. Okay, it's going to help you. Remember, what we are talking about here is for you to become more of an intentional person. Because as a leader, the more intentional you are, the more your leadership will blossom. Do you see that? The more intentional you become, the more your leadership will blossom. So we're going to look at for diet, decision diet. So the first thing you're going to do is to look at your E, your A, and your what? T, the EAT framework. So elimination says eliminate three decisions. What your current decisions can you remove? Everything you do again and again every day. How do you eliminate? How do you eliminate? How do you structure properly? Automation says two decisions. What can you set up once and let it run? And then for the templating of your decision, you have to be able to write down what your current situation needs a framework. And then some of you will be like, oh, this thing explained to you. What Coach Faith is teaching is much. It's much because life is not easy, right? If you are as an adult, you cannot relate. The life is not easy. We are learning species. The more we learn, the easier it becomes for us to live life with peace. The reason many of us are chaotic, we are living haphazardly. We are not okay. Our emotions are somewhere else. Our feelings, our thoughts. In fact, in fact, many of us will pray, say, Lord, stabilize my emotions, help my thoughts. Most of the time, the things we pray for already have answers. You just need a single framework that you're going to repeat again and again to get by, to get through with that result. Simple. Simple. There are no two ways around it. So don't run away from the class and say, oh, this is much. Listen again and again. Get into the growth garden where you become fully immersed. All right? That every day you know you are eating. You are eating good food every day. Coach Faith is serving you back and forth. So you are not just in the system. I also have coaches. I have programs I'm on a yearly basis. I subscribe, right? Where I get to learn certain areas of my life as well. Do you see that? So if the growth garden looks like what you need right now in your life, get on board because I know that you will not get it in one touch. You will not. I've been on this journey for 15 years. You will not get it in one touch. And one of my greatest regrets on this journey is that I did not become intentional on time because I didn't have mentors. I didn't have physical coaches or mentors in those days who would say, oh, Faith, do it this way and do it that way. I was just a young girl, a young teenager who started off on the journey reading books. I will never forget my first book that changed my life. You see me turning this way, I'm looking for it. Yes, the book is always close by, right? This very book. I've told myself I'm going to give thousands of this book to people, to young ladies, if not millions, right? Understanding the purpose and power of a woman. I have a purpose activation program coming up in February, right? This book is a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable for every woman, whether young or old. I read that of the woman, and then I went ahead and got that of the man. I have it here as well. Understanding the purpose and power of a man, right? So it's not easy. I grew up in an environment where up until the age of 18, 16, 17, to be precise, when an Oyibo man is talking, I cannot get it. I cannot get it. I cannot get it. The first day my own biological dad heard me talking, teaching, he was dazed. He didn't believe his eyes because they used to call me old woman's daughter. If you are from my place, I would have said it in my dialect. Old woman's daughter. That's a Dede Pikin. A Dede is an old woman in where I'm from, right? They used to call me that. The first day my dad heard, he sent me to school, but he didn't believe I could do well. So it was this. I remember my very first book. My dad kept on telling his friends, "Oh, my daughter has written a book. My first daughter has written a book. My money did not waste it. The money I used in sending her to school did not waste. did not go to a waste." So at the end of the day, it has been a journey of intentional growth, progress, moving from one level to another. So I just wanted to say that to someone because I heard that someone is hesitating to say this is a difficult journey. It's not difficult. The only time it becomes difficult is when you are not in, when you do it once in a while. As any, when we say anywhere but left it, anyhow it goes. See, yes, I think it was the one I told you guys the currencies that goes with personal development. Who can remember the three currencies? I mentioned the three currencies. If you can remember the three currencies, type it in the comments. The three currencies that goes with personal development. All right, the three currencies I mentioned it. That if you stay put on the path of personal growth, we're not saying you have to carry everything in your head. Oh, decision diet. Oh, Coach Faith has spoken about boundary, white spacing, and whatever she has been talking about the frameworks and the rest. The more you immerse yourself, just pick one and practice. Do it again and again. Pick another one. Before you know it, it starts to become a lifestyle. Like your system will start to receive it. You start automating that in your system. Okay? Are you still there? Are you still there? So, where is the litmus test for today? At the end of this week, I'd like you to ask yourself, did my calendar Moranugba, yay! Influence, impact, and income. Beautiful. Influence, impact, and income. That's great. Well done. Well done. Okay, so did my calendar reflect my values at the end of each week? You should ask that question. Did I protect my focus? Take a screenshot. Did I protect my focus? Did I waste less energy on trivial decisions? Did I feel more in control? All right? If yes, if you say yes to all of this, it means that you are building a solid architecture. If no, you're going to begin to find the leaks as you interact on a deeper level. As you interact on a daily basis, you begin to find the leaks. These are the three different compartments that I spoke about on day one or so. That these are the currencies. I didn't get this anywhere. This came by virtue of my interactions over the years and my own experience because it started with influence, impact, and then income came afterward. Income came afterward. All right. So it's important that you take it from that end. So see you on the five. The five is going to be beautiful. We're going to be talking about something really beautiful, close to my heart, 90 Day Sprint, how you can really structure your life, I mean, your year in quarterly basis so you don't get overwhelmed cognitively in terms of planning and all of that. Many of you will say, oh, Coach, you would have done this program in December. I'm not doing this program for you to plan your 1 year goal. All right. The title is Designing a Productive Year. A productive year starts from the day you make a decision to say, I want to do this. So we're going to listen, you're going to learn the 90 Day Sprint, how you can literally get results that you're going to get in 1 year in 90 days. Yes, it is possible in 90 days. So it's really about making decisions to put all the structures in place so that it becomes easy for you to what, navigate. Do we have any question? Have you got any question for Coach Faith? I'd love to get your question right now so that we can answer one or two. We are done for today. Thank you so much for coming around. It's been a beautiful conversation. We've done extra 15 minutes today. It's been interesting. We can keep going on and on and on and on and on. So go get your core values compass today, all right, for only $1. Ridiculous amount. Go get it. Go and get it. Now, immediately you leave this class, we're going to be opening the group. Open the group so that you can share your feedback. What did you learn from today's class? We open it immediately. The once we open the group, you share with us what you have learned from the class. Okay, and then you also get Faith, if you are here, or Favor, you can go ahead and share details for them to get the book immediately. All right, and then you share your feedback. You promise to show a book, ma'am. What book are you talking? This is a book. Yes, this is a book. Go get it. So, and if there are um based on your feedback from what you've learned today, go share in the group as well. We'd love to read from you. I always stay back to read. I may not comment. Sometimes you see me liking your feedback, or I may not be able to comment on everyone's feedback. It will take a lot of time, but I just see them, I take them in, and I want to celebrate you for coming around. I love personal development. I love intentional growth. It has helped me over the years. It has paid my bills. It has impacted my life. It has brought me to the realm that I would never thought I would get to. It has given me access to people. Yes, it has given me access to people from different parts of the world. That if I travel today, maybe to Jamaica, to Kenya, to Zimbabwe, to Tanzania, to London, to Iceland, I have families all over the world. Through the work of impact, over the years, we've been able to penetrate 35 nations or more. All right, I know it's more than that, right? Through the work that we do, through the personal development athletes. And we are just starting, we're just getting started. I'm just 6 years into those world of intentional coaching. I started my community 8 years ago, and it's been a beautiful ride. So once you type beautiful ride, beautiful ride, beautiful ride, beautiful ride. So join me on this journey. Let's do the work of growth together. There's so much you can learn. Okay, many of you are going to be ambassadors. Many of you are going to be partnering with us. Many of you are going to be collaborating with us at one level or the other. Yes, we're going to be doing a lot. You saw Uju sharing something about women, which is quite interesting. Yeah, I have a heart for women. My first community was for women, Building Africa Women. If you go on Facebook, you see it there. Building Africa Women. I had Zion Ladies Network, and before we started even the we started the reading community in between, right? So I have a heart for women and a lot. So this is the first book I read for women for you. You should go get the book, Understanding the Purpose and Power of a Woman. All right. We have impact program that we do as well. So my target is to give out hundreds of books every year. This is one of the book we're giving out. Okay. Well, if you want to partner with us, you can also do that. This was the other book I showed you guys. I said you should share with me the comment. Nobody did, and maybe you didn't see it properly. This is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Affordability. Please get the guide, Lydia. When you get the guide, you come back and ask me this question in a proper way. Get the guide. Let me see if they've shared. Okay. They don't share. I'm going to do that. I don't know if they are here. I'm going to do that. Okay. So get the guide. Get the guide. Okay. When you get the guide, it will help you to understand. I shared 50 values in that book. I call it the 50. I call it value dictionary. Go through all of them. You also understand values on a deeper level, and then you have all the questions you need to be able to answer for that. So this is a very powerful book. I've read it twice. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So these were some of the books I spoke about. So you can get them and read. Mhm. Thank you so much for your time. Let's head over to the WhatsApp group now. I'm going to open the group so you can share your feedback. Bye for now. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. We're meeting 6 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah.